In 7 seconds, you could tie your shoe, send a message, finish your drink, and maybe even solve a Rubik's Cube. Recent studies have shown that it takes only 7 seconds to make a first impression. We meet people daily, and for a lot of us, we look forward to meeting that special someone. But let's face it, dating is rough. So what can you do in those first 7 seconds to improve your odds of getting a second date? For a lot of us, dating is a part of life. Understanding what to do and not to do can allow for more positive experiences and better opportunities to show who you truly are. I've had the chance to meet many new people in my career and lifestyle where I make first impressions daily. And I began dating in my teens where I learned what it takes to be a good date and to find a good date. So today I'd like to share with you 3 points on what not to say on a first date. 1, past relationships. 2, your finances. And 3, making interruptions. Now let me elaborate on that first point I just mentioned, the exes. Talking about past relationships can offend your date and make them uncomfortable. Research and surveys show that 50% of couples that break up get back together. So talking about your exes the whole time won't help that your date already assumes that you do have relationship history. Julie Spira, an online dating expert and author, shared on Celebrity W Show, if memories of your date's ex monopolize the conversation, it's clear that you're not a priority and they're just not emotionally ready to leave their baggage behind and start a new relationship. 2020. So, what can you do? Sharing present and positive relationships can help you with this problem. Sharing about your family, your mother, can show that you respect and love her and your family. Sharing about friend relationships, like your best friend who you've been friends with since you were little, can show that you cherish and keep relationships. Moving to my second point, I'd like to discuss the image of bragging or complaining about your finances on a first date. Bragging is proven to display a lack of self-confidence and worth. Robert Hotz on Wall Street Journal shared in 2012 that bragging turns on the pleasure centers of our brain, releasing dopamine. Dopamine is associated with a sense of satisfaction found with food and sex. So what can you do? How you're dressed, what you drive, and where you work proves the point of what your financial situation is. So dress to impress. Now that we have discussed the no's of talking about past relationships and bragging or complaining about your finances, I'd like to move on to my third and final point of not making interruptions. Making interruptions while your date is speaking, especially when you start your own story, causes them to feel unheard and frustrated. To holding a good conversation, there are 3 points: active listening, asking and answering questions, and finding mutual interests and similarities. Along with these points, Shauna Waters, who has a PhD in psychology and statistics, wrote, "Sometimes people listen to respond rather than listening to what their conversation partner is saying." 2021 Art of Making Connection. What this quote is saying is that a person is more focused on what they will say next rather than truly listening to what your date is saying. So listening to your date and not thinking about what you're going to say next will show them that you're truly invested in the conversation. So what can you do? Balance your conversation between each other and just listen. So now that we've been over my 3 points, I'd like to review them. Number 1, sharing your past relationships too much can make your date feel really uncomfortable. 2, complaining or flaunting your finances. And 3, making interruptions while your date is speaking. These 3 points can lower your chances of getting a second date. So after all of this, I'd like for you to imagine yourself on a first date. You're at a restaurant, a bar, a park, and with someone new and someone cute. What do you say? How can you show who you are? Don't break a sweat or start freaking out. Remember, share present and positive relationships, dress to impress, and balance the conversation through listening. Dates can be intimidating, but these points I've shared with you today have helped me to become a better friend, family member, and date. Thank you.